Welcome back, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining for episode 12 of the Harrison Brinker Show. I hope you're all looking forward to it. It's going to be a good one. Did you guys see this recently in the news? Red Sox player Jarren Duran is out for 2 games, a 2-game suspension after using an anti-gay slur against a heckler at a game. Because if there's one guy you wouldn't ever expect to use the F word for gay people, it's a jock from Boston. All right. Well, I'm going to complain in this episode about TikToks that have people spray painting planets. I really don't like those. I wish those were over, and I think I plead my case rather well in this video. And then Colin and I sit down. Colin Blair, right? You know him. You love him. Colin and I sit down. We share our favorite 7 movies from when we were kids. So if you're interested in that, stick around because it's going to be a good one. It's an extra long episode for you because I don't want to cut anything out of these. And I hope you're all excited. I hope you're all looking forward to it. And if you are, here you go. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the sniffling. I've got something wrong with my nose today. I had a dream last night that I snorted Parmesan cheese. And I think it was based on real life because ever since then I've had something wrong with it. I think I did snort Parmesan cheese. We're going to start today's show like we did the other day with a nice new Arizona sweet tea. You can see the vapors coming off of that, of course. I hope you're all doing well. How are you doing? This is episode 12 of the Harrison Brinker Show. What did you think of last week's episode? I thought that was a fun one. The women, the clapping during live music, and of course the final interview with Colin where we broke down how insane it is that there are dog police officers. I thought that was fun. What did I do this week, you may ask? I always start the show off by talking about what I did this past week since I last filmed. Nothing. I talked last week how I put in my 2 weeks notice for FedEx, and that is true. Yesterday, now that I'm filming this, yesterday was my last day. So, I don't know. Taking advantage of being an unemployed man. Of course, I'm joking. I still work at my other job, and those shifts started today. I work on the weekends, so I really don't get to enjoy my days off until like 4 days from now, so it's pretty much business as usual over here in the Brinker house. Of course, you get to join today, though. That's what makes today exciting, is you get to sit and watch me talk. Sorry, I probably have a drippy nose just running out right now. It's actually disgusting, but I already opened this can. I don't have any more, and I like to open them on the show, so I have no choice but to power through it because I can't start recording and try to fake cracking that open. Don't worry, I'm not drinking this Maker's Mark today. That was to celebrate my day off. I have a nice bottle of bourbon here. I almost said whiskey, but it's technically bourbon, although it says whiskey in big letters on the front, but it also says bourbon in small letters, so don't be fooled. It was made in Kentucky. And what the H was I going to say? I save this for special occasions. I drink sweet tea when I'm just bored, but I drink the bourbon when I do something nice like quit my job and leave myself with no money left in my bank account. What do I have in the notes here? Can you help me read that? Nothing. That's how you know this is going to be a good show. I don't even need to have notes. I'm fully prepared to talk about everything. You might be wondering, Harrison, what is this galaxy behind you? We'll get to that. Actually, we might get to it now, because other than that, I got nothing to say. If I have something that comes to mind, I'm sure you'll hear about it. So here we go, without further ado, jumping right into the episode 12.
Now to conclude my act, I would drink water while speaking. No, you can't do that. Sure I can, Rob. Watch.
All right, today I want to talk about something that has bothered me for years, since the inception of TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, whatever's cooler for you guys at home. But there's these planet spray painting videos that really get my goose. I actually wanted to show you, I have a coaster now. I noticed how many rings this Arizona sweet tea was adding to my table here, and this is a hand-me-down from my great-grandfather, so I don't want to ruin the table. You can actually see here how thick this wood is. It's aged for, it's very old. Also, you don't need to get scammed by like Home Goods or whatever into buying like a $20 coaster, custom coaster. If you get furniture anywhere, it comes with these free pieces of foam. You can use them for whatever you want. It's not illegal or anything, so I use mine as a coaster. Anyway, let's get into it. So I have a problem with these kind of videos. I saw a video pop up on YouTube the other day, and it reinvigorated my hatred for these. I'm not sitting here constantly thinking about stupid spray paint videos, no, but every once in a while they'll come by through my feed and it'll remind me how dumb everything on YouTube is. And I'm allowed to hate these, you're allowed to hate me. I guess you can sit there and be like, oh, well, you're making YouTube videos too. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Let me see, how do I pull this up again? Display capture. I tried this earlier to have it come through the TV, but with the TikToks, it's like this big. So for your benefit, I'm going to re-record this segment with this in the big screen. But this is the first video that popped up for me the other day, and it really made me angry. How do I start this? This guy walks up to this guy on the street. You guys have seen these people before, right? Like, not even on TikTok, but in real life. Like, you go to the boardwalk and you see these guys sitting. There's usually a big crowd of people around them, and you have to break through, like Peter Parker trying to find his uncle. And then you get in there, and it's just this guy on like this cheap bed sheet he bought at the Goodwill with like a 10 by 10 canvas where he's just airbrushing it or whatever. And then after a minute, he'll hold it up, and everyone's just like, "Wow, great job, mister. Here's $50." Have you seen America's Got Talent, where these guys will go up there and like they'll paint something and it looks all weird, and then they'll flip it upside down and it's a portrait of Muhammad Ali or whatever? You do that in a minute. I'm not impressed. You know what else I can do in a minute? Microwave a hot dog. I had 3 microwaved hot dogs today for lunch. They were disgusting. So just because you can do something quick in a YouTube short, I'm not impressed. If I took 45 minutes to tie my shoe, you wouldn't be impressed. These things are all relative, of course. Anyway, let's get back into the video. So he gives him 20 bucks, says, "Can you paint my guitar?" Stupid idea, by the way. Don't paint your guitar. Oh, there it is. There's a guitar. That's probably, I looked it up, this guitar is $700 brand new. I don't know if he got it used or whatever, but it's a nice looking guitar. I should have brought mine over from the corner of my room there. A nice acoustic guitar, and you're just like, here, hobo, go to town on this thing. Really screw it up and make it disgusting. You know the guy who made it down in Guadalajara? Yeah, just F it. Whatever. I don't care if you ruin everything he did. Paint over the strings, paint over the frets. Don't mask anything off. You're a professional, right? You shouldn't have to mask things off. Okay. Don't paint over your strings, by the way. Have you seen those videos on TikTok? Where it's just like these guys very intricately like filing down the frets so they don't scrape their fingers, and then they take a razor blade and get all the gunk out of between the fretboard and all that. That's how you should take care of your guitar. Could you imagine how those guys feel when they see a video like this and they're just like, "What are you doing? You're painting over everything." So he's making eggs here. Oh, green eggs. Here, you'll see they do that a lot. They'll take a plastic bag, they'll paint over in a bunch of colors, and then take a plastic bag, and it's, I guess because it makes a pattern, that's supposed to look cool. If a trash bag could do it, I'm not impressed. So this is what's going to become the planets then, these lines. So now you have to mask it off, get a couple mason jar lids and cover it up. Spray paint it completely black, I guess, black and blue, and red and yellow. You know, space, how space is red, yellow, and green and all that. Put some stars on there, of course. I think that's, oh, that's the North Star. You hear that? Now, so now he's taking it off, and the guys are going, "Wow, oh my God." You sat and watched him do it. I mean, okay, let's be very nice here. Harrison, try to be nicer. Okay, this looks great. But the guys filming it were sitting there watching his entire process. They knew what it looked like when he masked them and then he painted in black. You can't predict the future, but you should have a pretty specific idea of what it's going to look like when he takes those rings off. But no, he takes the rings off and those guys are blown away. They go, "Oh my God, in a million years, I couldn't have thought about what it would look like. Thanks, you ruined my guitar." Oh, there's a ring. There's a ring for our planet. Come up with, by the way, that's not supposed to be Saturn, so come up with something else that's around a planet, by the way. Why does it always have to be rings? The only thing you can add to a planet is a ring, I guess. Come up with like a spike. Make it a spiky planet. Oh, he's taking a flamethrower to it. Sorry to keep pausing, but every 2 seconds something crazier happens. Don't take a flamethrower to your guitar. Have you seen The Dark Knight, by the way, with the Russian guy and the Joker's on that big pile of mob money, and then he lights it on fire, pours gasoline on it, lights it on fire? That's basically what you're doing with this custom shop Fender Pro acoustic guitar. And also, I don't know if you grew up with a father, but if you ever tried to make a flamethrower with a Febreze or an Axe body spray, well, if you had a father, you probably don't have Axe body spray, but if you tried to do that, he would tell you, don't do that. The fire could go back in the canister and explode. Happens all the time. Do you guys watch the news? Oh my gosh. Wow, he did a great job. Wow. Oh, you got a little shit on the bottom of it. Oh, it's still in tune. Oh, okay, I guess you didn't ruin it then, because it's still in tune. You got paint all over the thing. You didn't mask it off. You got it all over the bottom of the guitar. How are you supposed to put a strap on that now? It's got paint all over it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. So that's the video I saw that stuck in my craw. It made me guffaw. It made me angry. But here's the guy that I blame for starting this whole trend. His name is Casey Does Everything. Now, I don't know if this is the first guy to have made these Planet videos, but he's the one I've seen the most pop up on my feed, and I'm going to show you a couple of his videos here. Let's see what Casey does. He's going to do it not on a guitar, but on a canvas.
Tulsa University, so we're going to do Tulsa University's colors.
Oh, we're going to do Tulsa's colors. Okay, blue. I like it. Red, all right.
Then I'm going to take my crumpled up newspaper.
Okay, he doesn't use a trash bag. He uses newspaper, but it adds texture. Like I said, just because there's a pattern just because it's random doesn't mean it's good.
Off with the Cha-Cha bowl. Capture a little bit of that shadow.
Got it covered up. Yeah, you want the shadow.
We're going to cover everything in gloss black.
Okay, cover it all in gloss black.
Spray from at least 10 to 12 inches away. We don't want to get puddles, but we do want full coverage.
No, you don't want puddles. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be going to town on the freaking thing. You're going to get puddles. Be careful with it. Let me show you this real quick. Oh, wait, how do I do this? Wait, 1 second here. Here's a video for you. This is Adam Savage from Mythbusters explaining how to spray paint. He's making a custom Nerf gun. Look how delicate he's going. Painting the barrel.
All right, so what you may notice is that I'm doing this paint job in multiple thin coats and then using a lot of the blow dryer to dry the coats. It's because I want to get this done in one day. Two, it's actually really cold in the shop.
He wants to get it done in one day. Sorry, I paused over that. What did he say?
Because I want to get this done in one day.
Just so you could hear it, just so you could trust me. Adam Savage is going to take an entire day to paint a Nerf gun. You're allowed to take all day, Casey. You don't have to rush it and then hold the spray paint can over it and say, oh, I don't want to glob it up. Now, obviously, I don't care if you glob it up, but don't say you don't want to and then not take the proper precautions to not to. There's an easy way to not do it. It's called don't hold the button down for an hour and a half, covering the whole thing in paint. How do I get here? What do I do? All right, 1 second here while I get back to Casey. Let's see what Casey's up to over here.
Like gold to the party.
Oh, holy cow.
Yeah. Should I call her?
Oh, good. A fingering joke on a channel made for children.
Yeah. Shine on the top right, opposite of the shadow.
All right, you definitely want the shine. Opposite of the shadow, of course, physics.
Yeah. Freaking dope, son. Noise.
All right, I'm not going to lie to you guys. That looks freaking wicked. Oh, he's back. Let's see what other videos Casey has. How do I get it? Oh, wait. We'll get to that one in a minute. So this is what happens a lot. He'll get a comment on his videos, or all these channels do. Like I said, this isn't specifically at Casey. He just has the most accessible channel because there's so many videos of them. But he'll get a comment of someone saying, can you make a green and orange planet? What do you mean, can? You should just say, make a green and orange planet. Like, what do you mean, can you? Of course you can. It's spray paint. Let's see. Let's see if this is any different than the other video.
Yeah.
Oh, can you make a green and orange planet? Oh, I'll try. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Let me try. Okay, so just paint 2 circles. There's the newspaper again.
Then we hold it down.
Hold it down. Make sure to hold it down.
Swipe, and then shusha.
Oh, shasha, right. Okay. I forgot about the shasha part. That's actually pretty important.
Yeah, a little curved shadow.
There's the flamethrower again to dry it, I guess, because the sun, the big ball of fire that we already have in the sky, wasn't hot enough. We need to light it on fire.
Straight all the way around the outside and the edges.
Yep.
Now, there we go. Purple.
Okay, purple.
Yeah.
Yep, there's that shoelace thing.
Flick, 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 flick. Yeah.
Stars.
Yeah. Should I call her?
Oh, there's another. That's that same fingering joke. I wonder if there's a lot of adults on this page. Oh, you forgot about the ring. You forgot about the ring. The black ring from that bowl you painted earlier is on the outside, so the light doesn't make sense. Sorry, Casey. What else we got here? What the hell is this? Oh, we'll get to that in a second. So you might be thinking, what this guy's thinking, he got a comment saying, why tell everyone how you do this? Pretty soon you won't be needed. Everyone will know how to do this. My problem with this video is not just the comment, but let's break that down for a second. Who in their... I mean, this is clearly an adult. I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but I can see it easier on my screen here, that this guy commenting has a beard and sunglasses, so he's clearly an adult man. And he's saying, why are you giving away your secrets? What, like this is the Gordon Ramsay of painting on YouTube? I think it's pretty... after one video, it's pretty obvious how to do this yourself. But let's see Casey's response. Oh, good. He's going to give me a copyright strike. He's lip syncing along to Macklemore's Glorious. Oh, he takes his hood off like Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame. Basically saying, I don't need the credit as long as my ideas are out there. I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm not doing this whole paint thing for the fame, man. It's my passion. Every single day I want to wake up and think of a new color. That would actually be a good idea. Casey, if you invent a new color, then I'll watch your channel, unironically. But until then, you're not blowing anyone's mind by going green and yellow. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll be looking like a planet? Oh, maybe a brown and light brown. Maybe that one will look like a planet. I don't know, guys. We got to wait till the end to see. Every single video is the exact same. Here's another video that's not spray painting, but spray paint related, and it's his most popular video, so I wanted to show this one. Someone comments, why does it sound like there's a ball inside? They used the wrong theirs, by the way, which I think is important because, as you'll see, I think a lot of these comments are from children. Other than the last one, of course, was a man, but we'll get into that. Also, I don't want to be rude here, but a very interesting choice of facial hair. This video actually inspired me to shave before I started filming today. So he's saying, I'm going to crack open this spray paint can to explain why it sounds like there's a ball in there. Oh, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to crack it open to finally figure out why it sounds like there's a ball in there. You know, I could just tell you why it sounds like that, but then I wouldn't get my ad money. I wouldn't get all the views because it would be over in 2 seconds because the answer would be, I don't know, because there's a ball in there maybe. But he really goes to town, he nails it, destroys it with a hatchet, and he finally gets this thing out. What could be inside there that sounds like a ball? Oh, it's a ball. It's a marble.
Spray paint can is a glass marble.
Whoa.
Fancy.
That is fancy.
Collect these. Collection started.
Oh, good. The collection started. Unless there was a solid gold ball on the inside of a spray paint can, you don't need to open this up, all right? I'd understand if it was like a Cadbury egg situation or an old Frosted Flakes where you'd pop it open and there's a Pokemon card inside, but it's not like the point of spray paint is so that you can use up the can and then finally get to the ball inside. It's just there to mix it up. So I don't know who's commenting on this video. It's clearly a child, but even when I was a kid and spray painted stuff, I made fake toys and all this stuff that I would spray paint. It literally takes 2 seconds to go. This is the first time I've ever held up a spray paint can. Pretend there's a ball in there. Oh, there must be a ball in there. Sounds like a ball. Must be a ball in the spray paint can. Now, if I picked up an actual Arizona's Sweet Tea, sponsor of the show, and heard a ball in there, then that's when you can reach out to somebody, reach out to the police, call 911 and say, why is there a ball in my Arizona? But you don't need to ask someone online, why is there a ball in the spray paint can? Especially when you can just, if you do ask it online, just Google that question. You don't need to reach out to this guy's comments and then wait 3 days for him to look at it and respond so you can finally go, oh, I was dying to know, but now I finally know it's because there's a ball in there. But this is his most popular video. It has 5.1 million likes. It has 122 million views. There's 122 million views. So Casey probably made 10 grand on this video. that it could have been 2 seconds long, but of course he didn't, and I guess good for him. He made 10 grand on a video. But I think that's a big problem with just the internet in general. You ever try to Google how to cook chicken? And it'll pop up with an article, and you look up, oh, Food Network, oh, that's reputable. And then it's an hour and a half of reading before you finally get to the instructions where they're like, chicken was invented by God. Or was it the egg or the chicken? Well, that's a question that's more of a metaphor, really. It's really questioning the entire existence as a whole. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, all this stuff. And then it's like, but by the way, you're going to want to cook it at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. Make sure to flip it on both sides. Season it however you want. Can we stop with that? I get everyone needs their money, but there's got to be a better way than wasting everybody's time. It took this guy a minute. He could have cut all that stuff out of him hacking away at it with a hatchet and just said, someone asked me why there's a ball in there. Oh, I have an answer. Here, it's a ball. This is what's in the spray paint can, by the way. Point is, his videos are for children, which is fine until you see this. This is what I showed you for a second earlier. It's Casey again. Naked, with a caption that says, just woke up from a super nightmare, crying and drenched in sweat. First of all, this isn't true. It's clearly scripted TikTok. But if it is true, never tell anybody in the world that you cry in your sleep. I know earlier I opened the show by saying I had a dream where I snorted Parmesan cheese, and maybe that's why my nose is runny. That's about as much as I'll ever tell you about my dreams. Other than that, you don't need to bring it up. Especially, and at least mine was true, by the way. I still don't want to talk to you about it. But if it's going to be a lie, I don't think it's a good idea to lie to people about how you have such scary dreams that you wake up crying. Keep that to yourself. And why are you naked? It's not 3 a.m. Is this what your bedroom looks like, by the way? You're clearly in your kitchen, unless your bedroom doesn't have a door, but I've never heard of that.
And bad things happen, and you can't do anything.
So he's acting. He's actually acting pretty well. Oh, he's chugging water, flexing. He has a do not resuscitate logo on his chest there. Oh, it's 3:30 now.
Just keep swimming. Just keep
Oh, he's drenched in sweat. He covered himself in baby oil to really sell it that he's nervous. Heavy breathing. My bed sheets are soaked, and I can't stop shaking. That must have been a scary dream. Let's chug 2 waters. Hydrate or die. Okay, so it was a life lesson for everybody at home to make sure you hydrate, I guess. Otherwise, you'll have nightmares and cry. How are you going to cry if you're dehydrated? I guess. I didn't like that. That has 12,000 likes, 317,000 views. Who are these videos for? Like I said, it'd be one thing, like, look, I don't have a problem with the spray painting stuff necessarily. If it's just going to be a channel for kids, fine, then be a channel for kids. That's not my bag. I think my biggest fear in life is to grow up and have to be like a clown. I mean, it sounds cool when you're a kid, like, oh, I'll be Steve from Blue's Clues, or I'll be a clown, and then you have to think about being 50 years old and, like, putting on your big shoes and your red nose before you go to work, and you're just putting your big wig on in the mirror and pretending you're happy. But whatever, make a channel for kids. If you're going to do that, please don't post videos of you half nude, chugging water as fast as you can to show kids, like, look how fast I could chug this water. Oh, you thought that was fast? Let me do it again. Anyway, I need to be naked for this video to make any sense. Not true, Casey.
Look, kid, bad
Oh, we
things
already
happen.
watched that already. But this has inspired, speaking of children, this has inspired many copycats of people online, seeing how much fame and glory Casey has achieved over the course of his long tenured career. So here's a kid on TikTok. Actually, now now it's on TikTok, so the framing's all messed up. Give me a second here. But there's kids now that watch these videos and then have gone on to make their own. So here's a kid. I'll try not to be mean. I don't want to be mean to kids. But here's a kid that copied him on TikTok, so let's see how that goes. Someone comments, same thing that happened with Casey. Purple and gold, please. Do people still talk like that online? This is all for kids.
Purple and gold. So let's do it.
Purple and gold, let's do it.
First, we do the outline.
Okay, so you do the outline.
Ooh, lift it up and get it out of here.
All right, you actually don't do the outline first, kid. If you watch Casey's videos, you know you do the first color, then the second color, then the newspaper, and then the outline.
Crumple it up. Put
Yep,
it
he's
down
got the
side. We're gonna do it
newspaper.
off camera. Now we'll add some shadow.
Oh, he did it off camera. He took out the best part. Okay, add the
Now
shadow.
we just have to wait for that to dry. Place the
All right,
bowl
at
down,
least
let
he's
it
letting it
run.
dry. Okay, there's the bowl back again. I don't know why he ever got rid of it. He didn't need it until now. He wasted his time earlier.
Now that's done, we'll just add a stripe of purple. We're
Okay,
also gonna
stripe
add
of purple,
gold,
nice.
And now a stripe of white down the middle. of
Okay,
that.
gold and white down the middle.
And now just a whole bunch of stars.
Okay, all right, well, we need stars. I mean, if it's going to be a sky, you need stars.
Now we just add the shine.
Okay, you need a shine.
And now for the reveal.
But he put the... Oh, wait.
That
He
looks pretty cool. I hope
didn't
you like
copy
it.
Casey. You're supposed to put the shine on the opposite side there, kid. So, Casey, you're showing these kids... Maybe I spoke too soon earlier when I said Casey was giving away his secrets because the only kids trying to copy him aren't even doing it right. He put the bowl on the wrong spot. He put the shadow on the opposite side, or the shiny part on the wrong side. How do I do this again? Display capture. Get rid of that. This kid has 67,000 followers, by the way. Can you believe that? 67,000 followers. So there's 67,000. He's almost... what's the word? Surpassed 1 million likes on this channel. Who's watching this stuff? Spray Paint Art. That's his name. Let's see. I saw this one earlier.
Pink and gold.
But he ends it by saying this. Oh, he has to do the reveal.
Not the best one, but they're going to get better. I just haven't done it a little bit. Have a nice day.
Not the best one, but they're going to get better. I don't know what happened to this kid, but this was his second to last video he posted. The most recent one was the one I just showed you, and that was
Purple and gold. So let's do it.
February of last year. So I don't know if maybe his mom got mad at him for ruining the TV tray that he's spray painting on or whatever, but this kid's left the face of the internet. I'm hesitating to talk here. I don't know what I'm allowed to say about a kid. My point is, I don't like these videos online. It's created a weird culture of just spray painting stuff, and people that copy it don't even do it right, and it's not impressive. I understand the first couple. If it's the first time you've ever seen it, you're like, that's kind of cool. You know, when I added this to the background, I'm like, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. There's a couple stars, the cosmos, whatever. But to devote an entire channel to that is absurd to me when every single video is the exact same. He could say, Harrison, that's what you do. You just find something to complain about. Your videos are the exact same. Yeah, fair enough. I guess. If his excuse is going to be, I got to get that bag, it's like, okay. Let me get mine then. It'll take me a lot longer because I'm not going to go so low as to just spray paint videos for children every single day. I put a little thought into these, but I also don't get the people that comment on them and go, I don't know if you can pull this off, but have you ever tried black and blue? And then he has to sit there and go, well, I'll give it a shot. Let me get my sideburns trimmed. That's what I had a nightmare yesterday. I was at the barber and he almost shaved off my sideburns. So I don't get it. And then it's inspiring these kids to do it. They can't even do it right. Now you got a guy taking a guitar down to some street vendor and giving him a $3,000 guitar and saying, hey, please ruin this because it'll get me views. It got me $2 million on YouTube over the course of last year. So whatever I can do for money, right? And Food Network's sitting there. It's all the same thing. Food Network's like, oh, we're going to have our articles. You know how we could just say how quick you need to cook your chicken in the oven and how hot? Well, let's make it a lot longer so we can put a lot more ads in there. Let's take a video that could be answered in 2 seconds, like why does it sound like there's a ball in a spray paint can? Let's make that 25 minutes so that everyone can sit and watch it and I'll get more views and all this retention and blah, blah, blah. You're being brainwashed. And I know Casey's not sitting there trying to teach your kids anything crazy, although the fingering jokes I could go without. If you're aware that your videos are mostly for children and all your comments are clearly stupid people, either stupid adults or regular children, you have to be aware who your audience is. So maybe making fingering jokes about like, oh, I should call her. Right, guys? Right, all those kids in 6th grade watching this video? You know, you like to finger girls? What are you talking about? It's absurd. It's disgusting. It's ruining creativity. And it's supported this entire culture online of just shitting out videos and just saying, don't put any thought into it. Just whatever gets clicks, right? If the spray paint thing works, I'll do it 4 million times until I'm sick of it. And then I'll start doing shirtless videos for children. Can we be done with it, please? I'd like to be done with it.
Ball.
For my last segment on the solo portion today, before we get into our interview with Colin, I think I've talked just about enough. I've been too mean. I've been too critical. So I have no rant. Usually I'll end the episode before the interview with a tiny rant, but I have nothing to say today. Casey, if you're watching this, you can move on. There's nothing else I'm going to say about you. the only thing I got is just a little commercial for the Patreon for this channel. If you want to see more of these videos and you want to see them earlier, well, I record these 2 weeks in advance. So if you go to the Patreon, you can watch these episodes come out a week before they're released onto YouTube. There's also full-length interviews over there. It's not every single interview, but a handful of them that have gotten posted onto this channel have gotten cut down to their best parts. But if you want to see them in their entirety, go over, support the Patreon, support the channel. I think the cheapest tier is $1. Actually, I know the cheapest tier is $1. I can't remember what the other ones are. But if you want to support the channel, go to the Patreon. The link is in the description below. And if you like me, you'll get a heck of a lot more of me over there. Without further ado, everybody, Colin Blair. Hello?
Hello, honey. Hey, Joseph, it's Colin.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, Colin, keep your composure. Welcome back, everybody, to another rendition of the Harrison and Colin interview portion of the show. Colin Blair, thank you for joining yet again on a beautiful Harrison Brinker Show episode.
Mm-hmm. Good to be back once again.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got a good one for you. Colin and I sat down and wrote down our favorite movies, childhood movies, but as we've grown up, our favorite movies just in general. So we made a list of our top 7 for you, and we're going to go through them today and talk about, I guess, our favorite memories. All we have is the list. But we'll discuss our favorite memories or our favorite quotes or moments from the movie and what they mean to us, not only as children, but as 23-year-old men. I was going to ask if you had the list written down to see if you wanted to go back and forth, but if you don't, I can take it away. And I'll just
I don't have it written down.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I got the list written down, everybody. I forgot to let Colin write it down. But starting with number 7, our top 7 movies, and dead last is 2003's Kangaroo Jack. Colin, what do you have to say about this film?
It certainly hurts to hear that it's in dead last, but this is a strong group of movies here. So it's more, a better way of putting it would be 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and so on. I think
this is the worst of the best.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this movie, out of the list, this would be my last, mostly because this is probably the one I've rewatched the least out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I have just less memories of lines and things like that for this one in general. But still a great movie. Like I remember having the VHS and what the cover looked like and everything. Like I have strong specific memories of this movie.
Yeah.
Like the theme song, for example. Like I can certainly picture the kangaroo jumping to the bing, 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 like that part. That's my main memory. Like the theme song mostly.
Oh, I can't even think of the theme song. And your rendition really didn't help at all.
Yeah, well, when you heard it, you would know right away.
I feel the same way that like I also had this in my last place. The way we found out this list, by the way, I guess I could have said that before we gave it, was Colin and I both had a list of movies. We gave them our own scores 7 through 1, and then if he had Kangaroo Jack at 7 and I had it at 5, it got an overall score of 12. And then whatever movies did that with every movie, and the highest score is worst, the lowest score is best. Anyway, so should have said that in the beginning. But yeah, I feel the same way. Like of these movies, I can quote the other ones way better, and that's like my first litmus test of telling myself, like, is this really your favorite? Because you couldn't tell me a single line from it. But there are a couple that come to mind, like when I don't even remember their names. Jerry O'Connell's character was like first sees the girl for the first time, and he goes back to Anthony Anderson and is like, she was ooh. And Anthony Anderson is like, epileptic? Like, that's funny. And then but this movie's funny though, because it was the first like movie where I saw a tranquilizer gun, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Like, oh, it's a gun that shoots a dart that makes you fall asleep. I want one of those. And my parents told me that like the only people that get those are like veterinarians, which I don't even know if that's true, I guess. Like, so for like entirety of first grade, whenever anyone asked me if I had like a class project where I had to talk about what I wanted to be when I grew up, I said veterinarian. And it's not because I liked animals, it's literally because I wanted to shoot something and make it fall asleep. That was the only reason I wanted to be a vet when I was a kid, and it's because of this movie. Because there's that
funny.
scene where they're in the plane trying to find the kangaroo jack, and like they accidentally shoot the pilot with a tranquilizer dart. Hilarious. And they live and whatever, so nothing bad happened. But yeah, that was that's a funny one. I mean, it's definitely, I'm sure if we rewatched it, it would be like, holy crap, this is hilarious. I remember like a couple of years ago, I sat down with my roommates in college and watched it, and it was just one of those movies, like, this is just so funny. Like, it's under the radar, but this movie's hilarious.
I know. I definitely need to rewatch it too. It's been a long time. But yeah, there's one part that always comes to mind, and it's not like a funny part or anything. It kind of is, but it's when the ants are crawling up his leg.
Oh,
you remember that part? That's the one scene for some reason I always remember.
Yeah, he had all the berries in his pocket or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to be real quiet, and then he's like, he can't stop himself, and he starts screaming. And the kangaroo looks up. Yeah. I am Bolo Man. I mean, I'm sure we came up with this list pretty quick, so my initial instinct was I can't quote this movie at all, but I'm sure as time goes on, I'll be thinking about like, oh, I should have said this.
Yeah,
I should have said that.
I know. I feel like if we threw it on as the movie went on, we would be able to just start saying everything exactly how it goes. Yeah.
Chicken blood. I can't. There's a scene. I used to do this a lot with movies as a kid, and I'm sure there's going to be more examples as the list goes on of me doing stuff like this. But I would recreate a lot of scenes. Like, I would watch a scene in a movie that I thought was funny, so then as a kid I would just like try to recreate it. And there's a scene in Kangaroo Jack when they're trying to first get away from the cops. I think they're like stealing a truck is like the opening scene, and the way they get away, if you remember, is they find like a chute that goes into drops into a pier or something, like into water. I don't even know what this building was supposed to be, but I remember Anthony Anderson's character, I don't remember their names in the movie, he runs and he jumps down the chute and he goes, I love you, mama. So I used to like play on my playset as a kid and just like jump off of it and go, I love you, mama, so I could pretend I was Anthony Anderson from Kangaroo Jack. He's also what I wanted to be when I grew up.
I know the one character, I'm pretty sure one is Charlie, right?
That sounds right.
I think it's Charlie. I don't remember.
I guess, well, the biggest quote we're missing is with Anthony Anderson's lucky jacket. Charlie sounds right, by the way. Anthony Anderson's lucky jacket from the movie where he's like, this is my lucky jacket. Wait, another one when they're trying to drive away from the police and they go, I remember the dog's name somehow. The dog's name was Waffles, I'm pretty sure. And Jerry O'Connell's holding it as they're driving, and he goes, I think the dog just peed on me. And he goes, oh, nope, I peed on him. Anyway, that's a funny line. Yeah. But he has his lucky jacket. And the whole point of the movie, I guess if you've never seen it, I guess maybe we should say the points of these movies, was that they're like the mob or something got these two guys, like his stepson was Charlie, the mob boss, his stepson. They sent them to Australia to get this money to this other mob guy. So they get the money, put it in his lucky jacket. They go to Australia and they see a kangaroo when they land. So Anthony Anderson they hit a kangaroo with a car. Holy crap, this is all coming back to me. They hit the kangaroo. They think it's dead. They want to get pictures of it. So Anthony Anderson, after getting a couple pictures, puts his jacket on it. And while they're not paying attention, the kangaroo gets up and then jumps away with the money in the pocket, which leads to one of the funniest lines ever.
Oh, yeah, I know this one now.
Go ahead, take it away.
No, you go ahead, because I might butcher it, but I think I know it.
So Jerry O'Connell is like, you idiot. Like, they see the kangaroo jump away. He's like, you idiot, the funniest thing ever. Freaking, you put your jacket on that kangaroo, that stupid jacket, and now he's gone. And Anthony Anderson's laughing and then starts crying, and he goes, Charlie, I put the money in my jacket and the jacket on the kangaroo, and now he's hopping away.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that's the beginning of the movie, baby. So then for the rest of it, they have to try to track down this kangaroo so they can get the money back. Oh, another scene. This might go on for 3 hours, by the way. You have 6 more of these to go. At the end of the movie, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. It's been 21 years. But the end of the movie, they're riding on camels or something, and they almost fall off a cliff. and Jerry O'Connell takes his belt off, and they loop their belts together to pick up Anthony Anderson.
Oh.
And I used to do that a lot. I would take 2 of my dad's belts and loop them together like the movie, and then like tie it to a bedpost, and then pretend I'm hanging off a cliff and pull myself back up to the bed. So I could pretend I was Anthony Anderson. I don't know why I was so obsessed with him as a kid, but Anthony, if you want to come on the show, you have an open invite.
But I remember now. I remember just came to me when they hit the kangaroo. I'm pretty sure Anthony Anderson was like, he looks like Jackie Legs. Yeah, put these sunglasses on him, and that's why they started dressing him up. So it all started with that, I'm pretty sure. Jackie Legs.
I am Jackie Legs. I'd like to say hello. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think that was okay. This I could go on forever, but this will be the last one I say. So they're driving in a Jeep. Like before they hit the kangaroo, they're driving through a Jeep, and they hit all like these big ant hills or termite mounds or something in Australia. And the one thing, like Jerry O'Connell's head's hanging out the side of the Jeep, and he's about to smash his face into a termite mound and gets yanked back into the Jeep. And I had like this Jeep Power Wheel as a kid. So as a kid, I would drive in the Power Wheel and hang halfway outside of it and like drive into a tree and pull myself up before I hit it or something. So at least then I was pretending to be Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got. Like I said, if I could probably come up with more, but to save time.
Yeah, it seems like you have more memories with this movie than I do. You were recreating the whole movie, apparently.
This might be my number one. The more time I think about it, it'll all come back to me. Do you have any last words about Kangaroo Jack before we move on?
That's all I had for it. But yeah, it is a great movie, and it hurts to put it dead last. That's for sure.
Well, don't worry. Everything after this is better. So if you thought that was good, then be ready, everybody. Number 6 on our collective list is Good Burger from 1997, the Nickelodeon movie with Keenan and Kel. Good Burger. And Colin, I'll let you take more of this one because I think you will be able to explain this movie better than me.
Yeah, well, this is, I think out of this whole list, this one will probably, like, if we went back and watched every one of them, I would probably laugh the most during Good Burger, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, Good Burger's hilarious. A funny thing, what do you want me to explain what it's about?
Oh, well, yeah, explain what it's about and then take it over with the funny thing.
All right, so yeah, there's this restaurant, Good Burger, and then there's a kid in high school, Dexter. And that, yep. It's just what, and then chaos ensues at Good Burger.
No, just kidding.
But so yeah, there's this restaurant or the fast food place, Good Burger, and then there's Kenan Thompson who plays a high schooler, and he steals his mom. The main plot line, I suppose, but it's hilarious.
Well, the Mondo Burger starts like taking business away from Good Burger, so they have to come up with a way to get people to stay at Good Burger.
Right.
And you'll have to watch the movie to find out if they do or they don't. But there's Good Burger 2 out now, which I haven't seen, but that'll give you an idea of whether or not they succeeded at the end of the movie.
I haven't seen that either. I have no intention of seeing it.
But okay, so funny scene from the movie. Take it away.
Well, this isn't funny, but this is just something funny I did growing up. But like, there's a part when he wrecks the car because he runs into his teacher right after school's out. He wrecks his mom's car into one of his teacher's cars,
played by Sinbad.
Yes, yeah, Sinbad. But when Sinbad's yelling at him, like, "What have you done?" Kenan Thompson starts trying to explain himself, and Sinbad just keeps saying, "I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it." But when I was growing up, every time I was in a fight with my brother, I would just start saying, "I don't want to hear it." So that's what I got from that movie. That's probably the most quoted line from me for no reason. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. The way he said it, "I don't want to hear it."
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say. Like one of my favorite Sinbad quote from the movie is in that scene when he's like trying to explain how much money it's going to cost, or maybe it's a later scene.
Oh, okay, there we go. You froze for a second on my screen. Sorry.
Oh, whoops. He comes back with like he goes to the dealership to get his car fixed, and he comes back to Kenan Thompson with an estimate. And wait, what was it? Yeah, he told him originally when it happened how much it was going to cost, but then later he found out how much it was going to cost. So he goes, "I thought you said it was going to be $2,000, and now it's $3,000." And he goes, "That, my brother, is why they call it an estimate." I butchered that, but that one sticks in my brain a lot.
Yeah, close to kind of could be.
Another one from the movie is when they both dress up as girls to sneak into Mondo Burger, and they get taken away and into the back, and then I think it's Kenan Thompson. He keeps going, water.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah, every once in a while I think of that quote. But I'm like, no one will understand this if they're like, you want a drink, and I'm just like, water.
That's funny. Yeah, an underrated part of that movie I always thought was hilarious. Because one of the guys that works at Good Burgers, Kel's character, causes him to wreck his car because he's riding his rollerblades. Mm-hmm. But so when Kenan Thompson is at Good Burger, he notices, like, he comes to realization, he's like, he's the guy that made me wreck my car.
Yeah.
And then so he's like, he starts yelling at him. He's like, you wrecked my summer, man. You ruined my life. And then Kel goes, so you don't want to hang out tonight. That part always made me crack up.
I think my favorite line from Kel, and this is even from the first time I watched it, like knowing how hilarious that was when they're having the heart-to-heart on the roof of the restaurant, and Kenan's like, I didn't even know my dad. He gave me this yo-yo when I was a kid, and then he bailed on us, and all I have is this yo-yo. I don't even remember what he looks like. And then Kel goes, yeah, I don't know what my dad looks like either, but at least I get to see him every day.
Oh my god, yeah. And that same scene, because they're up on the roof, and Dexter's like, that's weird, I didn't think of you much of a thinker. He's like, oh, I think about all kinds of things. Cardboard boxes, things that are sticky. Yeah, that's funny.
I can't remember what Kenan says to him, but it's like the end of the movie, and Kel goes, is it because I'm black? And he goes, what? Man, I'm black.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about that. Yeah, I totally forget about the end of that movie. Yeah, what happens? But yeah, I forgot about that.
I know the big Mondo Burger falls down and lands on the teacher's car. He's like, finally getting to go to Mondo Burger. Oh man, yeah. Oh my god, yeah, Good Burger's hilarious. And then there's a whole thing in an asylum and a dance party. I mean, Good Burger is so funny.
It is. That's what I'm saying. I would definitely laugh the most out of all of these movies. I feel like watching Good Burger.
Yeah, Good Burger is incredible. But I think that might be all I have. Like I said, I'm sure there's plenty more, but I guess to not spend 15 minutes on each movie. Mm-hmm. Unless you have any last points.
No, I mean, yeah, like you said, I could go on and on about Good Burger, but yeah.
And maybe we will eventually. We'll have an episode just about Good Burger. We could do one for every single one of these movies. But this at least is the initiation, the beginning of this list to give you guys at home an idea of what we like. And what we like more than Good Burger and what we like more than Kangaroo Jack is number 5 on our list, which is Weird Al's 1989's UHF. UHF is about, what's his name? I don't know any of these people's names in the movie.
Weird Al's name?
Yeah.
It's God, what is it? Now I'm blanking on it. Maybe it should be lower on this list.
Well,
oh my god, I'm totally blanking.
Is it something with an F?
Stanley. It's Stanley.
It is?
Wait, no. It's Stanley's Michael Richards' character.
Oh yeah. Stanley. Yeah.
Yeah, this is embarrassing. We have it.
If you think about it, scream it. But what you know him, Weird Al. You know him by the name Weird Al. He gets fired from his job, and his uncle acquires a crappy TV station in a poker game. And I think the aunt, like Weird Al's aunt, is like talking to the uncle, like, you should give Weird Al a job.
Is
at
George?
That UHF George Newman. You should give George a job at that TV station. So George gets in control of this TV station and hires all these people and runs like this weird cable channel or UHF or whatever. I don't know what any of that actually means. But he gets this TV channel and just has all these shows, and they're all so funny. It's just Weird Al. He's like, I'm a funny music guy. I want to write a movie. I might only get one shot, so I'm just going to put in the funniest stuff of all time. And it's basically like sketches. Like every single moment in the movie just could completely stand on its own. So it's hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite moments? Or go ahead, sir.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, there's a like in the middle of the movie, there's just a Weird Al music video. I remember. So yeah, like you said, it's you can definitely tell it's just Weird Al wanting, like, he's super creative, and it just, he puts it all into this movie. Yeah, but it's good. Like it's a really good movie actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's little things that you and I quote. Like, for example, like even over this past 4th of July, because there's a part in the movie when he goes back to his girlfriend's house, and she just made him a mountain of mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
And when he sees it, or she's trying to talk to him, but he's so creative, so he's like making he's turning into a volcano or something.
Yeah.
And he says, "This means something. This is important." So every time, so yeah, over the 4th of July when you were here, there was mashed potatoes on the table, and you just looked at me and said, "This means something."
Yeah, anytime we see mashed potatoes, you know we're about to quote UHF, which I have to imagine is like a reference to a movie that neither of us have ever seen or heard of.
Maybe.
Because I'm like, just the way he says it, I'm like, is that just about nothing? Because if it is, it's hilarious, and he's a genius for being like, this would be a funny thing to say if I had a mountain of mashed potatoes in front of me. I think my favorite line, like the one that comes right to mind, is Stanley, Michael Richards' character, on his own show, and he's eating a watermelon, and he's like, "Gotta eat this watermelon." Then he takes a bite of it. He goes, "Oh, it's pretty good watermelon." And then after 2 seconds, he goes, "Tastes like poop." Which is just like so stupid.
Oh man,
but it's so funny to just imagine a guy take one bite, say it's good, and another bite go, "Oh, actually, this tastes like poop."
I know, and I know. Like when I rewatched that not long ago, when I saw that part, I was like, if I were to write a movie and they said like, or if someone was writing a movie, they said, "Okay, Colin, you can put one joke in there," it would be exactly that. Pretty good watermelon. Tastes like poop. That's so perfect.
My headphones out. I think another great one is the homeless guy when he's asking for money, and he goes, spare change, and George gives him some change, and then the guy takes the change and adds it up, and he goes, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, $1. And then he gives George change back, and he gives him a dollar bill. So it's like, oh, he was just asking for change.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one with the homeless guy is a homeless guy and a blind guy are sitting on a bench, and the blind guy's trying to solve the blind guy's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube, but he keeps just turning it one maneuver at a time, and he goes, "Is this it?" And the homeless guy goes, "Nope." And he takes it back, and he tries it again. He goes, "Is this it?" "Nope." And he tries it again. Oh my god. Like just stuff like that, where it's like, that just totally seems like Weird Al has had 35 years to come up with the funniest stuff of all time, and he's like, okay, I'm just putting this all in this movie. And he was right. It's freaking hilarious.
And one of the best lines is on your soundboard. When someone says, when he says what, and he says, "What time is it?" And then a fist just punches through his wall with the watch on it. He says, 7:30.
There's another one on this soundboard. I don't know if I've used it yet, but the game show they make for the TV station is wheel of fish, and they spin this wheel, and it lands on a red snapper, and the host goes, he's an Asian man, a karate instructor. Cooney is his name. And he goes, "Oh, red snapper, very tasty." It's just like, that doesn't mean anything, but it's freaking hilarious. And I worked at a seafood shop for like my first job, so anytime we would get red snapper in, I would just always say that to my coworkers, like, "Red snapper, very tasty."
Every time I'm out at dinner and I see red snapper on the menu, I'll take a picture and send it to you and just say, "Very tasty."
Another one from that guy is they have a, I don't even know the name of the show, but it was like a mystery box show. So they're like, "Hey, ma'am, do you want to take $50 or do you want to take what's in the box?" And everyone in the crowd is going, "Take the box, take the box." And the lady goes, "I'll take the box. And they open up the box and there's nothing underneath it. And Cooney goes, "Nothing! You're so stupid!" Road maps. Yeah, I mean, that's another these are all just so quotable. I mean, these are all so funny. But so if you haven't seen any of these, check them out.
Yeah, one more very quotable one we do a lot is when Weird Al walks in to deliver mail to one of the places. He says, "Oh, nice place you got here."
Yeah.
So we can use a lot.
They have a rival TV station, and the one time one of the workers at that other TV station, the boss is like a real a-hole, and this guy comes in with a big like raccoon skin hat on and a big mustache, And as he leaves the room, the boss goes, "Take that ridiculous thing off." And the guy kind of gives a look. And he just peels off his fake mustache and just walks away. And I'm like, oh my God. They've done it again. Yeah. Oh man. Just so funny.
Yeah, that movie's chock full of stupid lines. Yeah, it's just pure comedy.
Yeah, what's not to like? If anyone says I don't like UHF, it's like, why? Because it's not Citizen Kane. It's like, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
That movie is so funny. And then at the very end of the movie, when the scientist guy who was the only guy that worked at the TV station, when George gets there, he just becomes an alien and goes, "I have to go back to my planet of Xenu," and then just becomes an alien and teleports away. It's like, what? Oh, gee, that microphone is rubbing you.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, I apologize to the folks at home. Their ears are bleeding. Just kidding.
In that movie, I mean, UHF, the song UHF, he wrote for that movie. Like, that's one of his best songs.
Don't touch that doll.
Good things came from that movie.
Yeah, because what was the music video? It was I Want My...
It was Beverly Hillbilly.
Oh, yeah, Beverly Hillbillies, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. Freaking Kramer's in the movie. I mean, it's hilarious. Mm-hmm. My mop! Oh, yeah, Kramer gets kidnapped. This is the last one I'll say, but if you have another one, go ahead. Kramer gets kidnapped, and he's got a blindfold over him, and all these gangsters are playing cards while Kramer is just stuck to a chair, and he's just trying to entertain himself, so he goes, "I'm thinking of something blue, something blue." And he's just trying to get these guys to play a game with him. You guys ever see Bonanza? Oh, you're thinking of something orange, something orange. It's an orange. Now I'm thinking of something blue.
Yeah, and then the guy. Sorry, we seriously could go on about UHF, but the guy who plays Richie in The Sopranos, he's one of he just wants to kill Kramer's character, or Michael Richards' character, and then someone tells him, "No, boss says," or he says, "We have to keep him on ice for a while. Easy." So yeah, easy. That's one you and I used.
That comes back to Sopranos then with Richie's character when Uncle June is like got himself stuck in the garbage disposal. It's like, so Richie goes to help him and he puts soap all over his hand or something to kind of get him out, and then he's like, and Richie goes, "You're flexing," which I'm like, there you go, that's a UHF homage.
You're flexing.
Before we get to number 4, I have to pee. I'll be right back.
All right, coming in at number 4, we got the 1966 Batman movie starring Adam West. And while I do love this movie very much, I will most certainly let you take the reins here because you have a very special connection with it and certainly watch it much more than I did.
Yes, this is the movie I've seen the second most in my entire life. I won't say what I've seen first because that's later on this list. But I was obsessed with this movie as a kid, and even now, I still love this movie. I think the first time I watched it was at our aunt's house. I don't think you were there, but it was just my dad. We were visiting our aunt. My dad went to the store and found this movie on DVD. I think I was 3 years old, and it might be the earliest memory I ever have, but I remember vividly sitting and watching this movie for the first time, and from then on just being completely obsessed with it, the 60s Batman. Which there was like 10 years, I think, later. I didn't even know there was a show connected to this movie. So I was just rewatching this movie over and over as a kid, so much to where I would just want to see every version of it on the DVD. So I would watch it in French, I would watch it in German, I'd watch it in Spanish, I'd watch it with all the subtitles on of every different language. I'd watch the DVD commentary over top of the movie. I'd see all the behind the scenes of it. I was so obsessed with this movie. I don't remember the first time watching it with you. I might have said this earlier in the video or like in the interview, but this is like, I think I might have mistakenly said that we've separately watched these movies and then come together and watched them. So like I know for a fact you showed me Good Burger. I think I was just too young to remember who showed who what. But if you recall that I was the one who showed you this, I couldn't be more proud because I think everyone in the world should see this movie. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
But I've gone on for too long. Do you have any favorite moments, or what were you going to say? Sorry.
Well, yeah. Well, I can't. I'm fairly certain you showed it to me, but I really don't remember an exact moment I watched it for the first time. But I just assume you showed it to me. But yeah, when I think of this movie, the first scene that always comes to my mind is when Batman and Robin are in the Bat boat and they're in the ocean and they're just going in a giant circle, and all the villains are down below in their submarine, and Robin has this gigantic gun that he's just shooting down into the ocean. And then,
I don't even know what he's shooting. It's just waves of energy, I guess.
Yeah, and when it hits, it's just like a cartoon star that explodes on the screen. Yeah, but every time it hits the submarine, they show the inside, and every villain is like, "Whoa, whoa!"
Yeah, they shake the camera.
Yeah,
fall over.
Yep. And then all those vials of powder that they had from the UN when they turned all those, turned them into dust or whatever. That's on the table, like wobbling back and forth, going completely horizontal, but staying upwards. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we didn't say like what the movie is about, but it's about.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just like a cheap superhero movie from the '60s, but technically it's about this inventor, Commodore Schmidlap from Big Bend Distilleries, who invented a dehydration gun. And I don't know what the point of it was. It's probably in the movie, but it's like I said, I've watched it since I was a kid, so I just didn't actually pay attention to any of the details. But the villains, the Penguin, the Riddler, the Catwoman, and the Joker, kidnap this guy, steal his gun so that they can use the dehydration ray on the United Nations, I guess, and then keep them in each representative from each country in a little vial as powder. I don't really understand what the point of it was. I guess just to hold them ransom or something. But yeah, they have these vials of all these famous representatives, and I don't know. It doesn't actually make any sense, but that's the point of the movie.
Mm-hmm. I know. I can always picture that scene with when they're at the big table and the Joker, whoever, comes in and shoots them all individually and turns them into the powder. Yeah.
These villains walk in with all their costumes on, but then like little eye masks, and these guys at this meeting don't even bat an eye at it. They're just completely angry at each other, yelling, trying to figure out how to fix the country's problems. And the Joker and everybody walks in with this huge gun and just one by one just shoots them, turns them into powder until there's one guy left. Yeah, it's.
Oh, is that how? I care. Is that how the scene goes? They're just busy arguing with each other, so they don't notice that happening. Is that how they did it?
It's like they shoot the first guy. It's not like everyone goes, "Holy crap! Stop the presses! What's happening?" They're just still arguing until there's just nobody left.
Yeah, the Joker just goes one by one down the
table. Yeah. Oh my god, it's completely absurd. But yeah, I was so obsessed with this movie. There's a scene where Batman and Robin like throw the Batarang up on the roof of the villain's lair, get it caught on the roof, and then climb up the wall, like the classic Batman scene. And I just assumed that if all you had was a Batarang with one tiny hook on a roof, that you could just climb a roof. So as a kid, I took a cat litter box, like the flimsiest plastic in the world, cut out the Batarang shape, tied a rope to it, and for an entire summer, I tried to just get it caught on the I don't know, the edge of my roof, the apex, I guess. And it didn't work. It took me an entire summer, but I never let it bring me down. I just was waiting until I could finally do it. I never did. I got it stuck in the gutter a couple times. But yeah, I tried to climb the side of my house for an entire summer with a piece of dental floss and a cat litter box.
Well,
so that was stupid.
Yeah, you had one Batarang with a string on it, and when you would come visit here, we would climb my shed, which is lower to the ground, and we actually use it. Like, we would tie it to the other side, and we would use that rope to get up to the roof.
Yeah, we cheated. We would throw it the entire way over your roof and tie it around your fence, and then pull ourselves up with that plastic fence. Luckily, we only weighed like 60 pounds, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, I freaking love this movie. It's so stupid. The jokes in it are also meta, I guess, where it's like it's completely aware of how goofy it is. Like the very last scene in the movie, Batman and Robin finally rehydrate these UN members, and they're like, "Okay, we've done it. Time to leave inconspicuously out the window." So they just tie a rope around the window and just climb down, rappel down, and the movie just pops up with "the end," and then it's a question mark. A question mark appears. The end. Or is it? Yeah, I guess that's just because it's a show, so season 2 is coming. But as a kid, I had no idea what that meant. I didn't even know there was a show, and I'm just waiting. Like, all right, they're making another Batman movie. They said it. When's it coming? They're only 90 years old now.
Yeah, see, you don't need to leave movies in cliffhangers. Just do it like that. Or is it at the end?
Is it the end? I don't know. Like, we could keep filming. Well, I was obsessed with this movie, like I've said, since the time I was 3. But when I was like 17, I finally found Adam West's fan mail address and mailed him a letter with a picture inside.
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I'm in love with you. Do you mind sending me back a picture? And like 2 weeks later, he sent me back that photo autographed to Harrison from Batman, Adam West. And then like a month later, he died. So I'm glad I got that when I did, because in the grand scheme of the whole thing, I mean, I was obsessed with this movie for 20 years, and at the 11th hour, I mail him a letter, and he sends it back, and then kicks the bucket. So I hope I didn't have anything to do with it.
No, but still, I mean, it's seriously so cool you own that thing. Like, I can't even imagine how valuable that is. But yeah, like, I remember you asking me. It's not too valuable.
I have no idea where it's at. It's somewhere in a box.
It should be framed on your wall. I remember you asking me, because I remember you texting me, and I said you should send it to him for an autograph. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember us talking about it before you sent that in the mail.
Oh, really?
And then you said, yeah. I don't remember exactly what, but I knew you sent it to him asking for an autograph.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Well, you should have gotten yours in. Now he's dead.
I know.
Colin.
I should have.
I'm trying to think of any other moments. I mean, like we said with the other ones, I don't want to go too much into detail because I'll gladly go on for 4 hours about this movie, but it's just so stupid. Like the shark repellent bat spray scene, or I guess so Batman, they're trying to find this boat, this yacht that Commodore Schmidlap got, kidnapped from. So they take the Batcopter over the water, and Batman gets lowered into the water off the rope ladder and pulled back up with a giant shark attached to his leg. And I guess the shark didn't bite right through it. It's just clamping on. So Batman tries to beat it up for a minute, and then Robin has to bring him down the shark repellent bat spray. He sprays it off, it blows up, and they do a press conference right after. How could a boat simply disappear? Then after that, so everybody leaves from the press conference, and they try to figure out who could have done this. Batman, Commissioner Gordon, Robin, Chief O'Hara. They're trying to figure out who could do this, which leads to like one of the funniest lines ever that we still quote now. And they're like, well, it was a fish. It was a big shark. And they go, oh, well, where there's a fish, there could be a penguin. And they go, well, the shark was pulling my leg. And they go, oh, the Joker. And then Robin goes, well, guys, it happened at sea. Sea? Sea for Catwoman? that is one of the best. And then finally Chief O'Hara's like, this all adds up to one sinister riddle. The Riddler? It's so idiotic, but it's freaking hilarious.
But yeah, the Sea for Catwoman. Yeah, that's something we'll still say to this day.
Even now, like, just different riddles, like one I quote a lot, which is just stupid. It's like, I don't know, the Riddler at the end of the movie, skywrites all these riddles, and the one is, what goes up white and comes down yellow and white? And he goes, an egg. And they go, how do you divide 17 apples among 16 people? And Robin goes, make applesauce. And Batman goes, yes, apples into applesauce. And an egg, the unification, the United Nations, maybe? That's where we need to go. So yeah, now if someone's eating applesauce, I go, apples into applesauce. So just a stupid line. No one would go, oh yeah, Batman, right. But yeah. I say it all the time.
And the riddles, aren't the riddles just written like a plane is writing them in smoke in the sky? Is that how
it's like a rocket ship goes up and writes them, I guess. So yeah, the one was I don't remember. What weighs 6 ounces, sits in a tree, and is very dangerous? And Robin goes, a sparrow with a machine gun. Oh, of course. What does a turkey do when he flies upside down? He gobbles up. Oh, a cat would gobble up a mouse. Catwoman. Yeah, it's idiotic, but it makes sense in its own right. But yeah, that movie's hilarious. Unless you have anything else, we can move on to number 3.
No, that's all I had for it.
All right. Without further ado, number 3. All right, everyone, we're back. Number 3 on our list here, favorite childhood movies, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective from 1994 with Jim Carrey. What should I say? What can I say that hasn't been said before about this film? I think Jim Carrey wrote it. It's the only one that comes to mind of like movies I'm fairly certain Jim Carrey wrote, or at least like along with somebody else.
I had no idea he wrote it, so that's news to me.
Well, yeah, like he's a very funny guy, stand-up comedian, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one that he wrote. Anyway, it's about...
that makes... Or sorry, before you get into it, that makes sense if you say he wrote it, because, I mean, the stuff he does in this movie definitely is like what he did in his stand-up. So when you say that makes a lot of sense now, because I had no idea.
Well, it's just surprising that he didn't go on to write anything else. I don't think. Unless there's like some weird movie from 2006
I don't know of
or
him
something.
writing anything. So yeah.
He's clearly a very talented guy. This one was so he plays a pet detective, and it down in Miami, I guess, and the Dolphins mascot, the Miami Dolphins mascot, Snowflake, gets kidnapped or dolphin napped from his or her tank, and Ace Ventura is on the case to track down who did it. And like we said with the other ones, comedy ensues. What do you have to say about this movie, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first memory of watching this movie is when I was in kindergarten. I remember being on vacation and we put this movie on. But I know that's for some reason where it comes to me. But yeah, I mean, if we're talking about my favorite parts, I mean, literally the opening scene is probably my favorite part of the whole movie. When he's dressed as the HTS package delivery man, yeah. I mean, that's so funny.
HTS coming through. Package people, yeah. When he's in the elevator with the box and it's just, the doors are just closing on it, he goes, oh, sorry. We're going downtown. Oh, great. Now we're started from literally the beginning scene. We could go on for the entire movie. Sounds broken. I work at FedEx, so every time I throw a box, which I don't ever do, every time I throw a box, I just go, sounds broken. Most likely, sir. I bet it was something nice, though.
You know how in kitchens, when they have hot pans, they have to scream like, hot pan. That would be funny if at your FedEx job, when you have a package, you have to say, got a package, people.
He picks it up with his legs and like flips it over his head. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura is so funny. Just, I mean, I don't know. The entire freaking movie is hilarious.
I know.
I got nothing. All right, number 2. No, just kidding. No, I'm trying to think of a good scene. I mean, obviously talking out of his butt. I mean, there's if I had all my home movies as a kid saved on my computer, I'd play it here. I don't, but I got sent to me the other day. There's a video of me as like a 4-year-old kid. It was right after my younger brother was born, so I must have been 4 years old. And there's a video my dad's filming, and it's my baby brother in his car seat, and the camera goes to me, and it's just me going, here, look, and I bend over, I go, excuse me, I talk out of my butt, excuse me, I'd like to ask you a few questions. So even as a kid, I was obsessed with this movie and quoting it, so they're just freaking laser burned into my memory now. I mean, Ace Ventura is so freaking funny. I'm looking for Ray Finkel and a new pair of shorts.
I love that part. But didn't you tell me once that someone at your work said, like, I'm a Psycho Bill and Finkel's the mayor or something? Do you remember that?
Oh no, I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember you, but I mean that's a great line right there. I'm a Psycho Bill and Finkel's the mayor.
Even just in that scene when he's on the phone with Melissa Courtney Cox, and he's like telling her all this stuff, and then he stops and she goes, Ace, and he goes, I had to go there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Just like so
just, all right, stupid. I'm actually going now.
I think maybe one of the funniest lines is when he's talking to Courtney Cox, and he couldn't figure out who stole Snowflake, and he's all angry. And she goes, you're just mad your stupid pebble theory didn't work out, and you're taking it out on everybody else. And he goes, oh yeah? And you're ugly. Saddlebags.
It just keeps going fatty. With the name. Yeah, saddlebags.
Oh my god. That's why Roger Predactor's dead. He found Captain Winky. Yeah. Oh my god.
Good question, Iguado. That's another one.
He's rappelling from the ceiling. Oh jeez, I just spit. Wow, what was it? I can't remember the cut in the movie, but he's got finally Einhorn has the gun to his head and he goes, don't kill me. What would you know about pressure? And he goes, well, I have kissed a man. Even just the entire scene. I mean, I guess just like, I mean, this wouldn't fly today, but the entire scene after he finds out that Finkel is Einhorn and he made out with the police sergeant or whatever that was previously a man, and or whatever you people at home think, and he finds out Finkel is Einhorn. It's just the entire montage of him plunging his mouth and pouring an entire tube of toothpaste. He lights his clothes on fire and gets in the shower butt naked. Just like, it's so stupid, but so freaking funny.
He's in the car with like 4 packs of gums.
Oh yeah. And then what's his name? Freaking Dan Marino's like, got any more of that gum, Ace? He goes, no, and I think you should mind your own damn business. Just so stupid. But yeah, that movie's hilarious. I feel like I haven't said enough about it because we've said 15 minutes on every other movie, but there's I mean, what else is there to say? Just the entire movie is so freaking funny.
Yeah, and I mean, even the sequel has hilarious parts.
Yeah, I wanted to say that.
Yeah, because I mean, in the second one, the part I always thought was hilarious when he's at that one tryout with the Wachuchu tribe, whatever it's called. And he doesn't speak their language. So the person he's with, he's like, tell them what I'm saying. He says, I come in peace. And then she says, like, White Devil says, like, I will start war or something like that. It's like, did you just refer to me as White Devil?
Bumblebee tuna. Well, that's the thing about this movie is the sequel, unlike many other comedy sequels, is actually funny. I mean, it's no Dumb and Dumber 2. Let's just say that. Ace Ventura 2 is actually funny. And if you think otherwise, you should have watched it when you were a kid. It would make a whole lot more sense. But even the guy, this is Ace Ventura 2, when the guy is on the very top of this tall post on one leg, and he's like, what's he doing? And he goes, oh, it's a feat of strength. He has to stay up there for 40 days. And Ace Ventura just starts shaking the pole to try to get him to fall down. It just cuts to him up there like, whoa. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, just stupid crap. I mean, Dan Marino's in the movie. This is back to the first one. Dan Marino's in the movie. It's so freaking funny. The scene of him with the glass door just going,
only this.
I have exorcised the demons. Only this. And he can collar slightly. Yeah, he goes to the police. I don't know. If I start, I won't be able to stop.
Yeah, so
but
we learned that we could go on.
Please watch Ace Ventura. But Colin, unless you have anything else to say about the film, one last remark. If not,
no, I think we covered the main ones.
Well, let's hear number 2 on our list, everybody. Number 2, what do we got? Best childhood film.
Number 2, we have Pee-wee's Big Adventure, baby.
That's right. 1985.
1985. Again, I cannot believe it was 1985. That is a long time ago. But oh my, this is one of my favorite movies ever. I love this movie so much. I will never get sick of rewatching it. Nothing beats Pee-wee's Big Adventure, except for number 1, of course.
Really? I think this is Tim Burton's first like real deal movie. Tim Burton from Batman and Beetlejuice and all that. This was his first movie, was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And if I'm wrong, shut up. Pee-wee is great. I think you got me into this movie. Like, if we're gonna go back and forth with who started what, I guess I said earlier, like, I think we found these on our own, but you absolutely got me into Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I'm glad you did, because even now, I'll throw it on, and I'm like, this movie's hilarious. There was a time in college, I was 21 years old, working at Walmart. I had the early shift, so I was the first person. I had to open up the store, or the electronics department, not the entire store, but I was alone for the first 2 hours of my shift. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? And then I remembered, well, I got free Wi-Fi. I'm going to watch all of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And that's what I did. So even as a 21-year-old, I'll gladly sit down, and now I'm 23. I haven't watched it in a while, but gladly sit down and just watch this entire movie because it is so funny. These all are hilarious. Yeah. There's no dramas. We don't have any Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind here as 4-year-olds, but Pee-wee's Big Adventure was all we needed as kids. But please take it away. I've rambled on.
Well, one of my favorite scenes in Pee-wee's Big Adventure is when he's when he goes to that bar with all the bikers, and then like they let him ride one of the motorcycles away, and he starts like swerving and just runs straight through his side, like a billboard.
There's so many funny scenes just in that scene alone. When he first gets there and he's trying to use the payphone, and he's trying to hear, I can't hear you, and he's at this biker bar, and he turns and he goes, I'm trying to use the phone. And they all just look at him and they're ready to kill him.
Yeah.
And then that, of course, is where he. Yeah, well, sorry.
It's all right. You say they pin him on the table. They say, I say we kill him. I say we whatever, and they just keep going. But then
we kill him. I say we hang him. Then we kill him.
Yeah, and then Pee Wee says, I say we let him go.
No. Yeah. Well, that's when Pee Wee goes up to the bus boy, buys his shoes, and then turns on the jukebox and just dances to Tequila with I mean, I've said it with all these movies. One of the funniest things in the whole world is Pee Wee in a biker bar is dancing to Tequila. Just up on the table on his tiptoes, dancing around, shattering glasses. And then, that's when they were finally like, oh, this guy's cool. And then they let him ride his bike, and he gives him a handshake, like grabs him by the forearm, and they're like, I'll see you later. And he runs directly into a sign that cuts to him in the back of an ambulance.
Yeah. And again with that scene, right? But the reason they hate him is because he knocks all their bikes are lined up in a perfect line, and he touches one.
He's walking up to the bar like this and leans on it.
Yeah, he leans on when they all fall over like dominoes. But I don't know if you remember, but the face he makes after he knocks all of them over, he's like. If you go back and rewatch it, it's so funny. But yeah, that's when they come out and they bring him inside. And
that's just one scene in the movie, by the way, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many others. I guess we stopped explaining what happens in this movie. But Pee Wee, as a grown man that is like a child, I guess, lives on his own, and he has his favorite bike, and he goes to the bike shop. He chains it with an obscene amount of chains to a clown, and he comes out of the store. It's gone, and he has to figure out who took his bike. So he goes across the country trying to find his bike. But his first suspect is his neighbor Francis, because in the beginning of the movie, Francis comes up to him like, Pee Wee, today's my birthday. He's like, I want your bike. And then Pee Wee just cries, laughs on the ground, and just, I don't know, just starts dying laughing like, that's for whatever.
It's not for sale, Francis.
Yeah. My dad says anything's negotiable. Good for you and your father. So yeah, finally Pee Wee eventually goes to Francis's house to try to find him after he realizes his bike's been stolen. And he knocks on the door, and the butler opens it up. Do you remember exactly how that scene goes? I know the end part, but how does he open it? He opens the door and says what?
I think he says, I want to see Francis. Francis is busy. Busy doing what? He's having his bath. And then he says, oh really? Where are they hosing him down?
So he shuts the door on him.
Yeah,
he shuts the door on him, tries to open it up again, and he doesn't answer, and then, me again. Yeah, just so stupid. It's this entire scene of this Francis guy just taking his bath in an indoor swimming pool, just like swimming laps, taking his bath. Oh my god, yeah, that movie's hilarious. Pee Wee goes to this magic shop before his bike gets stolen. The guy opens the door. My good friend Pee Wee! Shows him all this stuff. A boomerang bow tie. Does it come in red? He picks it up. Regular size.
Trick gum. That's what I was trying to think.
Oh yeah, and that's what he gives to Francis later. When they start, Francis's mouth starts like pouring out black ink, and then the dad just goes, which is one of the funny, I keep saying one of the funniest, but like in that movie alone, it's like, this doesn't, like, what is happening right now? Where it just cuts to the dad going, and then Francis is just smiling and chewing like all this ink dripping out of his mouth. Au revoir, Pee Wee. He goes bull riding. He gets knocked out, and they finally wake him up. They go, what do you remember? He goes, I remember the Alamo. And all these guys from Texas are like, just so stupid, but holy crap, that movie is so funny.
One of my favorite parts is when he's when he hitchhikes and that felon picks him up or whatever, and then he has the broken handcuffs, and Pee Wee says, what'd you do? And he notices Pee Wee doesn't actually need to hear what he did, so he says, you know those do not remove labels under the mattresses? Well, cut one of them off.
Oh,
that's one of my favorites right there.
I didn't know this till now. I just assumed that is actually what he did, and that was just the joke. Is like this guy got arrested.
Yeah, because I think from what I remember, he starts to say it, but then he looks at Pee-wee and realizes, I don't need to be telling this guy what I actually did. So then he just comes up
funny.
Well, I cut one of those labels off.
That's the thing about these movies. When you watch them for the first time when you're 3, you don't actually understand anything. So when you keep watching them over and over, you don't bother paying attention because you think you already know what happened. So there's moments like that where you're 23 now and you go, oh, that's what that's about. Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. It would still be funny even if it was meant to be that's what he actually did. That would still be funny.
Then they get pulled over, but they have the police stopping all the cars trying to figure out where this murderer went. And they put on disguises and Pee-wee's dressed like a girl. And the cop is like, do you mind getting out of the car, ma'am? And he goes, oh, okay, officer. And the officer goes, I just wanted to see that cute little outfit you had on. We skipped completely over the breakfast machine, the opening scene of the movie where it's just Pee-wee just lights a candle, slides it under a rope, and then just his entire breakfast is made by robots, which is just so does he have to set that up every morning? Every night he has to go put an egg in the container and put this twine back and get the pancakes off the ceiling.
Yeah, it makes him the most perfect. Yeah, it makes him the most perfect breakfast. And he pours Mr. T cereal all over it, eats one speck of Mr. T cereal, and then gets up
with a gigantic fork.
Oh yeah, with his fork. That's right. Forgot about
his huge fork, and then when he brushes his teeth, he's got a gigantic toothbrush. Oh my god! And he looks out his window, and there's just fish in the window.
I was just gonna say that's the most random thing when they show his window. It's just goldfish outside. Yeah, this movie's insane. There's so much crazy stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, it is so funny though. It is so good. And then even just the end of this is one of the movies I don't even remember the ending. Maybe it's the same thing, maybe for the same reason as you and Good Burger, where it's I've seen this movie a lot, but I've seen it so much that I'll just watch the first half and go, okay, I've watched it. I've seen this movie enough. But now that if I were to sit down and rewatch it, I'd probably go, I don't remember the end of this movie at all because I haven't actually stayed and watched the entire thing since I was 6. But I'm just I've seen the movie. So the ending, I don't even actually. Well, no, I do. They make it into the Pee-wee movie. The story gets turned into a movie, and then Pee-wee's played by this butch cool guy, and I don't know, it's so stupid.
And they give funny. Pee-wee a part in his movie as the hotel bellboy or whatever. Yeah. But of course, Pee-wee's voice is too absurd, so they have to voice over it. So maybe you could do it better than I would.
Pee-wee goes to talk, and they ADR his voice. It goes, paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, telephone call at the front desk. And then the entire time, this is supposed to be an actual movie of Pee-wee's story. The entire time when Pee-wee's making that cameo, he's just looking in the camera lens the entire time. Oh my god. Well, that's
sorry.
No,
yeah, one more scene I love is when he's driving with the felon, and it's at night, and he's in a convertible, and the signs first there's a sign that's left turn, but the signs slowly get more absurd, it just turns into a bunch of scribbles all over.
Yeah, it's just
and it just says, falling rocks. What is that? What the last sign says? Falling rocks.
I can't remember. Or
but something. But anyways, giant boulders are falling.
Yeah.
And then there's a cliff or something he just flies off of.
He drives off the cliff, and then they floats down with the convertible top, and then the fella is just get out of here! I'm a loner, Pee-wee, a rebel. And then that's when Pee-wee's in the dark, and his eyes open, his cartoon eyes open, and he looks around, and he's got his night vision goggles, and it opens up, and it's just all these wild animals, like a lion and a tiger, and he just goes, ah!
Oh my god, I know. Going through this is the most absurd movie ever. So much movies.
Yeah, goldfish in the window, freaking even he steps on his bathroom scale. The bathroom scale at the beginning of the movie, trying to hint at him not to do anything. He steps on his scale, and his horoscope pops out, and it looks, and he goes, "Don't leave the house today." And then he just goes, whatever, and then leaves the house. I'm here. Oh, man. Well, before we get to number 1, time out. I have to pee again.
All right. Well, we've come to number 1, and it is Dumb and Dumber. Our all-time favorites.
This is.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this is not only my all-time favorite on my childhood movie list. This is my number 1 favorite movie of all time. But
I am 100% with you. Yep. But I'll let you start with this one for sure.
Okay, well, Dumb and Dumber, if you haven't seen it, is about two friends, Lloyd and Harry, Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels. Lloyd is a limo driver, and he takes this beautiful woman, Mary Swanson, to an airport, and while she's there, she leaves her briefcase at the terminal. So the point of the movie is Lloyd and Harry taking a road trip to go find her in Colorado so they can return the briefcase to her. But what they don't know, and what I didn't know until I was like 18, for the same reason I just said earlier, which is I don't even pay attention to these movies, is the briefcase is full of Mary's husband's ransom money, who's been kidnapped by Mr. Andre. So Lloyd and Harry don't know that this briefcase is full of money. Finally, they make it to Colorado. The briefcase opens up. They still don't know it's ransom money, so they start spending all the money, trying to get Mary to fall in love with them, but Mary falls in love with Harry, and Lloyd's jealous, and da-da-da. Comedy ensues.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you start.
I mean, like you said, this for sure is my all-time favorite movie. Not even comedy movie. This movie is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and it's funny because my favorite scenes from this movie are not funny scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I'm skipping, not starting from the beginning, but yeah, like for sure, my favorite scene is when they go the wrong direction and they stop in Nebraska or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and he says, you drove a sixth of the way across the country in the wrong direction. But yeah, like that's like, I seriously believe that's one of the best movie scenes ever.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Now we don't have enough money to get to Aspen. We don't have enough money to get home. We don't have enough money to eat. We don't have enough money to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to do us any good here whining about it. We're in a hole. We have to dig ourselves out. You're right. You're absolutely right. Where are you going? Home. I'm walking home. This movie is the only movie that I can quote the entire thing from start to finish. You don't have to test me on it.
I have seen you do it. I am the witness. You have done it.
Colin has seen it. I've actually done it multiple times every time we hang out. I think last time over the 4th of July, for the entirety of our 4th of July dinner, I was just sitting at the table with our entire family, just, why are you going to the airport? Flying somewhere? Oh, how'd you guess? Well, I saw your luggage. But I won't get into it now, or else this will be another 94-minute long video.
Yeah, I think the first time you did it, I'm pretty sure the first time you did it, because we were just hanging out here, and then you were just doing like what we would normally do, just saying random lines from it. And then you said, I should just say the whole movie. And then you did.
Start to finish, the entirety of Dumb and Dumber is in my head. So every once in a while at work, or at least like in college, I worked at FedEx where I wasn't allowed to have my phone. I still work at FedEx, or I quit last week, but the FedEx I work at now, I can have my phone. But when I worked at a place, I wasn't allowed to use my phone. When I was bored at work trying to make time fly, I go, oh wait, I have a theater up in my head, and I could just watch Dumb and Dumber whenever I want. It's perfect.
Yep. But yeah, but this movie, like I said, like this is such a special movie to you and I. Like when we were however old, like 6 years old, like when you would be here visiting at our granny and granddad's house, we would go into the basement. Our granddad had a briefcase.
Which is all we needed to be like, oh, it's Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. Oh, hey, he has a Dumb and Dumber prop. That briefcase. Yeah. But yeah, we would sit on the arm of the couch, like we're on the little bike they had, and we'd be holding the briefcase, and we'd reenact the peeing scene. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Let's go, man. So that's what we would do when we were 6 years old, or however old. We were just sitting on the arm of the couch in the basement, reenacting Dumb and Dumber. So this movie goes so far back for you and I, and it means so much.
Yeah, it is the best. Like you said, and like I said, it's not just our favorite movie as kids. It's like no, even now, I should do it more often, but twice a year I'll sit down and watch Dumb and Dumber because I'm just like, this is the best. I'm literally never sick of it. It still makes me laugh every time, even alone in my room by myself. I'll laugh at every single line, and not many movies can get me to do that. I'll watch a comedy now and I'm just like, yeah, this is funny, but I'm not laughing. But Dumb and Dumber makes me laugh. Like I said, why are you going to the airport? Flying somewhere? She goes, no, how'd you guess? He goes, well, I saw your luggage. When I noticed the airline ticket, I put two and two together. Like, that's probably the funniest line in the entire movie. It's so stupid, but it's genius. You have to be a genius to come up with something so dumb.
Mm-hmm. I know, and this line, like, I think you and I, of course, reference this movie a lot, but you've made this point before, but like the very subtle lines that no one would ever know are ones we would use. Like one you use is if I tell you to look for something and you don't see it, you say, I'm not seeing it here, Lloyd. Something like that. Or something that's very small, just saying good thinking. But in the way that Lloyd says it. Little things like like it's insane how much we know this movie to that extent.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's almost gonna bring a tear to my eye to think about how freaking good this movie is. If I know, like, even when they first get to Aspen, Lloyd has spent maybe 10 minutes with this woman driving her to the airport. They drive all the way to Aspen to find her. Harry's like, where is she? Or like, what's the plan now? We're in Aspen. And Lloyd's like, well, if I know her as well as I think I do, she's going to invite us right in for tea and strumpets. Like, what are you talking about? Like, holy crap, that's funny. Of course, it cuts to them being stranded around a hobo fire. Where Harry's like, I can't feel my fingers anymore, Lloyd. They're numb. And Lloyd goes, oh, take these extra gloves. My hands are getting sweaty. Like, oh my God.
Extra gloves.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like I said, don't get me started. I will quote this entire movie from start to finish. But it proves that it's the best. I mean, I am never going to get sick of this movie. Every time I watch it, I find out something else about the movie. Like when they first have the Mental and Shay get to their apartment, and he's like, I say we bail. And they run out, and there's that scene of them running in the street real quick. You can see a homeless guy in the background peeing on the wall. Like, pay attention to all the background stuff in this movie. It's just as fun. Like, I don't know. It's so great. Like I said, you have to be a genius to come up with something so stupid, and that's why I think it's just nothing can beat this movie.
Yeah. One time at school, I think my roommate and I both did poorly on a quiz or whatever. And then I remember saying, I mean, I'm pretty proud of this. I remember saying, I was like, we're in a hole. We're just going to have to dig ourselves out. Like, you can use that. You can use that in any situation.
Right. You get the tears start flowing. And then, your roommate's probably like, I'm sick and tired of having nobody.
Yeah.
Excuse me, little old lady? I mean, this is the same as, like I said, about UHF. Like, every scene can just stand on its own, where Lloyd is at this store trying to buy all this crap for him and Harry. And he gets his wallet stuck in the nudie magazine case. He goes, little old lady, do you have change for $1? She goes, change? No, I don't. Well, do you mind watching my stuff here while I go break $1? She goes, of course. He goes, senior citizens, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose. My parakeet Petey, he's dead. I'm sorry, Harry, what happened? His head fell off. Yeah, he's getting pretty old. Sorry.
Yeah, he was pretty old.
What lines come to mind? Or just moments or any reenactments or anything? We've done this for 20 years
like
now.
That scene we were just getting at. Yeah, like I said, my favorite scenes are not the funny ones. Like when Lloyd's looking out the window, he's like, I'm sick and tired of being a nobody. He goes, well, I'm sick and tired of having nobody. It's the serious dramatic scenes are actually very good in that movie. It's funny.
Yeah.
But and again, like in that one scene when they get out of the car, when they went the wrong way, like Jim Carrey's voice cracks when he says, I guess I forgot you never make a mistake. Like even that little thing right there, like that's so good. And that's why I just love this movie so much. Like it's so funny, but it's also such a good movie.
Yeah, it's such a good buddy movie. It's not, I mean, I love The Hangover and Superbad and all that stuff, but like buddy comedies. But this one's like freaking sad. Like it doesn't, Superbad where they split up at the end when Evan finds out that he doesn't want to go to college with him. Or Seth finds out Evan doesn't want to go, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's a similar scene, but it doesn't even compare to Dumb and Dumber, where Jim Carrey's, like, crying on the side of this random road, and then all of a sudden comes back with a moped, and he's like, no, dude, I traded in the van. We're going to go to Aspen. And then Harry's just like, let's do it. Like, it's insane. But it is heartfelt and rich, compelling and rich.
And the soundtrack is perfect.
Oh,
it is such a perfect soundtrack for that movie. Like, it's like you and I both own the CD for our car. Yeah. But it's so literally everything about the movie is perfect, down to the soundtrack they have.
Well, I think the soundtrack is so great because I've never heard any of those songs anywhere else. Like they just picked all these like '90s completely indie, and maybe I wasn't born then, but maybe in the 90s these were radio songs, but have since never been played again on the radio, I guess. Like, it's all songs I've never heard before or since, but they're in Dumb and Dumber, and they're so perfect for every single scene. Like, yeah, I don't know. But now, I've said this to you before, but like, even the get ready, cause here I come, like, I watched the movie so much, and like I've said with every other one, it's burned in my memory. So when I listen to the soundtrack, like, moments from the movie, like, click in my head from when they play that. Like, the end of that song in the movie is when Lloyd starts like running in place with his jacket on in the car in the Mutt Cuts van. So when that song plays, I can hear it out of stupidity because it's burned into my memory of Lloyd's jacket going. Like, just, I've seen it so many times. This is what I was talking about with Batman. This is my number one. Like, this is the movie I've absolutely seen the most in my entire life. And I'm not upset about it. I freaking love this movie.
Same with me. But yeah, I was going to say about the song, because one of the songs on the soundtrack is Hurdy Gurdy Man, but it's all distorted. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
but,
the Butthole Surfers.
When I watched, when I watched the Zodiac for the first time, that, like, the actual Hurdy Gurdy Man is in it, but I'd never heard that song before. So when I was watching the Zodiac, I was like, wait, did Dumb and Dumber come out back then? Because this is a song from Dumb and Dumber, but it sounds different. So that's also me being stupid.
It's a Dumb and Dumber
that's what
reference.
I thought at first. I'm like, why are they? Yeah, they got this from Dumb and Dumber. I don't understand. But then it finally hit me. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is just a normal song. but it's just funny. That's just how my mind works. Dumb and Dumber comes first when I'm doing anything. Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. That's the same thing as me. Even, I mean, I went to school for film. Like, when I would have to write scripts, like full-length scripts, and I didn't know how to pace them, I would have the Dumb and Dumber scripts side by side and just do all my scenes and then compare them to Dumb and Dumber to make sure, like, okay, Harry and Lloyd leaving for Aspen lines up with the script of where my characters leave to go on their journey or whatever. Like, I would base every single script I wrote off of scenes or the entirety of the script of Dumb and Dumber. And I passed, so I guess it worked.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I freaking love this movie. I've got about 9 versions of it owned. I have Dumb and Dumber, and then I have Dumb and Dumber unrated on DVD, and then I have Dumb and Dumber on Blu-ray, and then I have a VHS copy, and then I have the multi-pack with Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumber which Dumb and Dumber 2 sucks. But Dumb and Dumber is actually a funny movie if you ignore the Dumb and Dumber aspect and just pretend it's a teen movie. It's actually funny, but I still won't. Nothing compares to Dumb and Dumber. But yeah, do you want to say anything about Dumb and Dumber 2 and how much we hate that movie because it ruined our childhood?
I was going to say, I feel like Dumb and Dumber 2 is the reason I don't want to watch Good Burger 2 because of how bad Dumb and Dumber 2 is. Like, I certainly wish I just never watched it. I don't know if that's how you feel. I just kind of don't.
I'd have a much happier life if I never watched it.
It is. I'm not even joking. It might be the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It was so bad. They got literally everything wrong. Everything was wrong.
Yeah,
in Dumb and Dumber 2.
It is. I mean, I just said I rip off the scripts for mine, but at least I change what happens in the movies I write. Like, Dumb and Dumber 2 is a shot-for-shot, or beat-for-beat remake of the first one, where it's like, oh, we have a package, we need to get to a pretty girl, and someone's chasing us, and we get stopped along the way, and funny things happen. It's like, what are you doing? At least Ace Ventura 2 went to Africa. Guano. Dumb and Dumber 2 is one of the worst movies of all time. And the only good part about it, I remember in the theater, is when the credits roll and they play clips. I watched it opening night. Like, it came out Friday. I saw it early on a Thursday at the theater. And the best part of the movie is when they play the credits and it's clips from the original movie. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Now that's a movie. Yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2 is garbage.
Even the way they talk in Dumb and Dumber 2, like, they're Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, like, I don't know why, but like they're talking to sound like idiots, like their tone of voice. Well, in the first one, like, they didn't play it like that at all. So like you can tell when they wrote it, they focus way too much on what's make them as stupid as possible.
Right.
But that's not at all what you should have done.
Yeah, obviously the first one's called Dumb and Dumber, like they're stupid guys. But the thing about the first one is they think they're right. Lloyd and Harry both think they're doing everything according to plan. Whereas then in the second one, it's like they're completely aware of how stupid they are. where they're just I don't even. I would pick a scene, but I can't remember any. I know they ring a doorbell. I know they have something with a funnel.
I know there's the fart scene when they're in the car, like, he who smelled it. First one to smell is fart. Yeah, blah blah blah. They go on with stuff like that. That's the only scene I remember.
Right, and it's like, how is that? So that's your version of the Quitzies, Andy Quitzies, Quitzies, no startsies. Like, that's not better than the first one, so you can just leave it alone. Now I'm getting angry. Great.
Yeah, but like a very small example, like in the first one, when Harry says, you drove almost a sixth of the way across the country, blah, blah, blah. Like, even something saying a sixth of the way across the country. Mm-hmm. Like, that line, you can't even imagine them saying in Dumb and Dumber 2 because of how stupid they made them. You know what I mean? Like they're not that stupid. Like, they just blew everything way out of proportion in the second movie, and it just was not enjoyable at all. It just ruined everything for me.
There's a scene in the first Dumb and Dumber that was deleted, I think, but however they say it, Harry's like, how much further do we have to go? And Lloyd pulls out the map. He goes, according to this map, sorry, I screwed this up. Harry goes, how far have we gone so far? And Lloyd goes, about 2 inches. Harry goes, how much further do we have to go? And Lloyd pulls it open. He goes, about 2 feet. Harry goes, well, we're going to need a smaller map, but we're never going to get there. Where it's like, that's stupid, but that's funny. Whereas the second one is just stupid. And it's like, I don't know if you've been around a stupid person in your life, but it's very aggravating. It's not entertaining at all. Dumb and Dumber, the first one, is so entertaining. Even them coming up with concocting the plan to get Seabass to pay their bill at the diner. He's like takes a smart person to do. And Lloyd's stupid and doesn't realize he's about to get his throat slit. But it's still like, the creative juices are flowing. Lloyd knows what he's doing. Let's trick these guys into paying for our tab, and we're going to get out of here. And they get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yep. They ruined that movie. But let's not focus on that. Let's remember the good things, which is that the first Dumb and Dumber is our favorite movie of all time. And the best movie on this list, and maybe the best movie ever made.
I agree.
I think something else I wanted to say about all these movies is, I mean, obviously a couple, like Ace Ventura would still hold up, Dumb and Dumber would still hold up, but I think it needs to be said, however I can phrase it, like a movie like Kangaroo Jack and Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Good Burger, like if you didn't watch those when you were 5, you're not going to like them when you're 25. So if you missed the boat on that, I'm sorry. Because they're so good, but I think you kind of needed to watch those as a kid to really enjoy them. Like, they're definitely stupid. Like, Kangaroo Jack, I don't know how mmany 30-year-olds are sitting down for the first time and going, I'm going to throw this on, and dying like we died when we were 4, and, like, recreating scenes. Like, a 30-year-old, like, tying 2 belts together to pretend he's falling off a cliff. Like, I'm glad I did all that stuff when I was 4, so I can sit and rewatch these movies now and go, like, what good memories we had of watching this.
I know.
So
like the core. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I had nothing. I'm glad you cut me off. I didn't know what I was going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a lot of core memories involved in these movies. That's why we love them so much. Like that Dumb and Dumber. Like, that's why Dumb and Dumber is my number. I mean, it's not the main reason why, but a huge reason why. It's because I just picture you and I on the arm of the couch pretending we're in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, like if someone were to wipe our memories.
I love the movie so much.
If someone were to be able to go back and say, like, you've never seen Dumb and Dumber again, it's like, okay, I could live with that. I would just watch it for the first time again. But you'd lose all those memories of us in the basement pretending to be on a moped and just, like, all the moments throughout, like, quoting it from 3 years old to now. Like, this has shaped so much of our life. Not just Dumb and Dumber, but Good Burger and Pee-wee and UHF, like, shaped our sense of humor. Like, if you just got rid of those, it wouldn't just be like, oh, a movie I forgot to watch. It's like, no, that's... all these combined is like who you are, who we are. Now I'm about to cry.
Yeah, I know. No, I mean, you're right. Yeah, when you look at this group of movies, like this, yeah, you make a good point. Like, this is where my sense of humor came from. Like, these 7 movies right here, probably.
Yeah.
And it's you're exactly right. Like, this is it right here. What I'm looking at. It's like, wild to think about it.
The senses of humor in UHF are completely different than Dumb and Dumber, but and like same with Batman. Batman's like a sarcastic, like meta. Oh, we know we're funny. We're wearing our underwear on the outside. Let's leave inconspicuously through the window. And Kangaroo Jack is just goofy. Good Burger is just a kid's movie, but like it's not a kid's movie that would come out today. Like, not that it couldn't come out today, but it's not like the ones that come out today that are just for kids. Like, you can be 21 and watch Good Burger and not only like it because it's nostalgic. Like, it's actually a good movie. It's actually funny. Like I said earlier, like the line of him going, I don't even know what my dad looks like either, but at least I get to see him every day. Like, that is, you don't have to be 3 years old to think that's funny. Like, a 25-year-old would think that's hilarious. Yeah, these are also good. Yeah, it's sad. I'm just hoping and praying that when I have kids, if that ever happens, I'm just going to sit them down in front of the TV, show them all of these, and go, okay, you're going to be just like me. So I'm terrified of putting on Dumb and Dumber for my son, and he just turns around and goes, this movie stinks. That better not happen.
I don't think it will. I have the same thoughts. If I have children, they're going to be watching these movies, but I haven't even considered the fact they wouldn't like them. Because right. I can't see that happening. I just can't.
Well, I hope they do, because I know, like, whatever, nieces and nephews and just young kids, like my sister has kids, and it's like, we had to watch Paw Patrol again today, and I'm like, yeah, that must suck. I hope when my kids are watching Dumb and Dumber, like, I'd be just as happy with that, because I know I can sit back and enjoy the movie just as much as the kid, as opposed to sitting back and going, when is Paw Patrol gonna finally be over? It's like, no, throw on Batman, please. And I have all the Batman toys, and I've collected every single Batman thing ever. It's like, my kid better love Batman, because when I was a kid, I would dream of, like, I freaking wish I had a fake toy Batcave set. I wish I had the Batman costume and the Riddler outfit and Batman action figures and a toy Batmobile. It's like, you're in luck, son, because I have all that. So even stuff that comes out now, like they re-release, like they relicense like the 60s Batman with like all these new toys. So every once in a while I think like I should buy that, and I'm not going to use fake bat handcuffs now, but it'll be good when I have a kid. If they love the movie as much as me, they're going to flip out when I'm like, look at what I got. It's the exact stuff from the movie. Like that I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the stuff I would have killed for as a kid.
I can't even imagine. Hopefully, yeah, this is going to be emotional. But I'm just picturing the moment if like my son is in front of the TV, son or daughter, in front of the TV watching Dumb and Dumber, and I'm just watching them, I would start crying right then and there.
Yeah. like you're going to turn out just fine, kid. Yeah. No, these are the best. Yeah, it's gotten emotional. I mean, we started with Kangaroo Jack, just talking about, epileptic. Oh, that's a goofy movie. But now we're like, oh, God, what are we going to do without these things? Yeah, I'm so glad I've seen every single one of these. Like we said, I mean, there's plenty more that have gone into it, but these are our top 7 favorite movies as kids, and obviously even up till today, where we can quote the entire thing till now. It's not like, oh, Kangaroo Jack, yeah, I watched that when I was a kid. I liked it. It's like, no, that movie, throw it on right now. I'll sit and watch that any time of day. I would have nothing better to do. Like, I'd rather do nothing else, I guess, than sit down and watch Kangaroo Jack again, because it's just means so much to what shaped us. Like I said, even the whole thing about, like, there was a year where I wanted to be a veterinarian because of that movie. Dumb and Dumber obviously means freaking everything. Adam West autograph. Ace Ventura is hilarious. Pee-wee, I could live without. Pee-wee stinks. No, yeah, I love all these. I'm glad I think we came up with a fun idea here to make a list the way we rank these, and kind of combined our ideas of like what actually is the best. Let's put these together and come up with our own list, but combine them and think an actual real top 7. Oh, you don't hear top 7 a lot, but we have a top 7 list of our favorite movies, and that's what they are, and nothing's going to change them. Do you have any final remarks, Colin?
No, I mean, go watch them. If you haven't seen them, go watch them. That's all I would say.
And if you think you're too old for them, just pretend you're 3, and you're gonna really love them.
Yep.
But all right, everybody, thank you
Picture Harrison and I in our Harrison and I in our basement reenacting the movies while we're watching them.
Yes, the entirety of all of these movies. But thank you for joining, Colin. Again, this has obviously been a long one. I think we've been recording. There's a couple pee breaks in there, but the recording right now says an hour 40. So this will be a pretty long episode, and there's not a reason to cut any of this. What are we going to go from 7 down to 4? Like,
yeah,
not going to happen.
You just can't.
So this is an extra long episode for everybody at home, but I hope you enjoyed it. And obviously, if you have the wherewithal or the nostalgia pumping through your veins, tell us below your favorite childhood movies. And if they're good, I'll check them out. And Colin will too. Mm-hmm. And we'll get back to you about whether or not they're good. They probably aren't good if they're not on this list, but at the very least, we'll read your comment. But no, thank you, Colin, for joining. Thanks for sitting around for 2 hours. And everybody, we'll see you all in the next episode.
Yes. See you later.